Hello, it's Jen from Dr. Jen Basir. Do you feel like you have tried everything that you can to lose your weight and nothing is working for you? That is such a common thing that I see people struggling with, and today I want to help you with that. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the physical things that you can do differently in your life that maybe you're doing or maybe you're not doing that can help you with releasing that excess weight. But then more importantly, we're going to get into some of the underlying emotional things that might be behind your difficulty in releasing that weight. So it's really easy to say, well, all right, I know if I want to lose weight, I just need to eat less and I need to exercise more. It's pretty simple, right? Well, it's not quite that simple. And if you've tried different diets and you've tried different exercise regimes, you know that it's not that simple. And it's really, really frustrating. Let me share a little example of this with you. My husband is about 10 inches taller than I am, and he weighs over 100 pounds more than I do. Had to do some quick math. Now, he is working on losing some weight, and I am not at this point. But he and I can eat the same amount of food. I can easily keep up with him on any meal, and in fact, I often eat the same amount of food that he eats. Yet, I do not gain weight, and he does not lose weight. And it's not because I'm spending more time working out or exercising than he is. So you might say, well, what the heck? I thought it was supposed to be about portion control and how much food that I eat. Well, that's one of the frustrating things, or one of the interesting things about dealing with weight, is it's not just about the food or the amount of food that we eat. Part of it is our metabolisms. I burn through my calories at a much faster rate than he does. We have different body chemistries, different hormonal processes, different needs. We work differently, and so we're going to respond differently to the food that we're currently taking in. Now, even on an energetic level, the food that we eat and the weight level that our bodies are at is going to vary based upon our thoughts and our beliefs. I actually spent a number of years being underweight, which can also be a problem, and that was in large part due to a lot of beliefs that I had about not being supported. And as I changed those beliefs, I was able to come up to a weight that was healthier for my body. Now, if you're overweight, you probably can't really sympathize with that, but the whole point is that regardless of whether you have too much or too little weight, it's not just about food, it's about your thoughts and your belief patterns about yourself and your relationship with food that's going to have an impact on your ability to achieve an ideal weight. So let's talk about 5 things that you can do from the physical aspect to help you with releasing your weight. And then we'll talk about the major thought process that you want to address that will also help you release your weight, possibly even more than the physical things will. Because my guess is, if you're still listening to this, you have made these changes to your physical world with your food and you haven't seen the results that you expect to see. So, 5 things that you can do physically to help you release your weight. Number 1, increase your physical activity. This is not a surprise to you, I'm sure, and this is true for everyone regardless of our weight. Being more physically active is better for our health overall. Don't worry about trying to find a specific exercise program that you can jump right into. Simply think about moving your body more. How can you walk more during your day? How can you be more physically active during your day? Do simple things like park farther away from the door at the grocery store, or take the stairs instead of taking the elevator, or after dinner, instead of watching your favorite program on TV, go out for a short walk instead. Excuse me. Just do some simple things to increase your physical activity. Number 2, drink more water, especially if you find yourself consuming a lot of soda or energy drinks or sports drinks, or yes, dare I say coffee during your day. You want to replace those fluids with water, especially in the case of soda or energy drinks. you are consuming excess calories that don't really serve you in any way when you consume the soda. So drink more water. Number 3, change the way that you eat. Now, I am not saying go on a diet, and I would never say go on a diet because I do not believe in dieting. I believe in changing for the long term the foods that we eat so that we can get the most nourishment that we need for our bodies. Now, that being said, there are a few simple things that will serve all of us better as we look at the food that we eat. One thing to do is you might need to make changes to your portion size. This may or may not have an effect for you, like the story that I shared in the beginning about myself and my husband. But try reducing the amount of food that you eat. Notice when you actually feel full, and do you continue to keep eating after you feel full, or do you normally stop at that time? So as you make changes to your habits of eating, you also want to increase your awareness of how you feel when you eat and how much you feel that you actually need to eat when you're sitting down to a meal. The second part of what you can do with changing your food is to reduce or eliminate processed foods as much as possible. All of the cakes and the cookies and the desserts and the chips and the bagels and all of those kinds of things, get those out of your diet along with fast food as much as you possibly can. And then the last thing you can do to change what you're eating is to simply eat more fruits and vegetables. That doesn't mean you have to go through any extravagant meal preparation or meal planning. It simply means to make sure that you're having more fruits and vegetables as you have your meals and as you go about your day. And I'm not talking about French fries. I'm talking about steamed vegetables, roasted vegetables, fresh fruit, those types of things. Okay. The fourth thing that you can do physically to help you to lose weight is to reduce your levels of stress. When you have more stress in your life, you have more hormones flowing in your body that make it more difficult for you to release that weight. You are naturally going to hold on to your weight because of the state that you're in. So whatever you can do to reduce stress, that may be as simple as taking a few minutes to laugh and to play every day. Smile more. Do some deep breathing. Start meditating. Maybe it's something as drastic as completely changing your job. But whatever you need to do, help yourself to reduce stress. And the fifth thing that you can do physically to help you release your weight is to get more sleep and to get better quality sleep. This goes along with your stress levels. If you don't sleep well at night, or if you consistently get too little sleep, then you have more of your stress hormones coursing through your body, and that makes you hold on to your weight, so you're not going to lose it. If you're not sleeping well at night, you might also want to consider getting checked for sleep apnea to see if that's a problem. That can have greater health consequences as well, other than just staying overweight. So there's 5 things that you can do to help you on the physical side with releasing your weight. Now let's talk about the underlying emotional aspect of being overweight, because maybe we're at this point and you're thinking, okay, Jen, I've heard these things before. This is not anything new, and that's very true. It's not. It's the same advice of things that we can do. And maybe you have really consistently applied these things in your life, and you've probably seen some weight loss, but maybe it hasn't gotten you to where you want to go. And that can be extremely frustrating because you feel like you're following the rules and you're doing what people tell you to do, and everybody's telling you to do these same things, and yet it's not getting you to that ideal weight that you want to be at so you can feel better, have more energy, and enjoy your life more. So what is the underlying emotional component of being overweight? Well, there is one major thing that contributes to being overweight, and that is feeling a need for protection. So think about this. If you have excess weight on your body, that makes you more solid, it makes you bigger, it gives you more physical space to occupy, and in that sense, it helps to give you protection and keep you safer from other people and from the world around you. Going along with that need for protection is very often insecurity, dislike for the self, and a need to be fulfilled, trying to be fulfilled. And if you think about it, you are literally filling yourself up with this food when you're overweight. So take a little time, meditate for a few minutes, just take a few deep breaths, sit down at a time when you are by yourself and you can be undisturbed for maybe 3 to 5 minutes. Take some deep breaths and be willing to be honest with yourself and just ask yourself, is my excess weight related to the need to protect myself? Is my excess weight related to feelings of insecurity, of not liking myself, or of a need to be fulfilled in some way? And just see what comes to you. See what you feel within your body. You may get words that come to you as you go through this process. Emotions may come to you. Images may come to you. Particular places in your body may communicate with you, whether it's through pain or tightness or other sensations. Ask yourself if these things might apply to you and see what answers you get. Think about your childhood and your upbringing as well, and the relationship that you had with nourishment and food and criticism as a child. Did you feel that you were constantly being attacked, perhaps, and so you feel this need to protect yourself, and so the way that you have decided to protect yourself is by eating more food so that you become overweight, so that you are safer from these attacks? Maybe you haven't been attacked from the outside, but you have this inner voice that is attacking yourself. Maybe there is some underlying feelings of being completely unfulfilled in some area of your life, and so you're trying to fulfill yourself by eating food instead of by perhaps getting the job or doing the work that really makes your heart happy. Once you start to have an awareness of and address the underlying emotional component of your weight, it will start to slowly come off, and it will come off much easier. As you think about healing from the excess weight, I also want you to change the thought process. We normally talk about losing weight. I want to lose weight. But when you think of losing something, that generally means that you have misplaced it and now you need to go find it and get it back again. So this has probably been your experience with your weight throughout your life. You lose the weight, and then what happens? It stays off for a certain period of time, and then it comes back again, and very often when it comes back, there's more of it than there was the first time that you lost it. This can be extremely frustrating. So instead of thinking of losing the weight, I want you to think of releasing your weight, letting go of your weight. Think about how the weight makes you feel and what it would feel like without those feelings and those emotions weighing you down. The extra weight makes you feel heavier. It may make you feel safer, so you need to find a way to feel safe without holding on to all of that weight. I hope that this has been helpful for you today. You can use these 5 physical things that I've suggested for releasing your weight, but I also strongly encourage you to tune into the underlying emotional aspects and belief patterns that might be there for you for your weight, and start to see what you can discover. Once you find out what the belief pattern is that you are holding on to, there are many ways that you can start changing those patterns so that you don't continue this process of holding on to this weight. You can start thinking of yourself differently and perceiving your world differently so that you feel safe to release that weight that you have. I know you can do it. I would love it if you would share this with your friends who might benefit from it as well. And have a fantastic day. We'll see you next time.